Hey gang, James Zen Douglas here. 2/26/18, February 26th, 2018. It's the second time I shot this video, so I may be a little tired. We had a great town council meeting tonight. Spoke about kudzu being burnt and Darla Harding's husband, Mr. Harding, proposed perhaps moving the ABC store from Grassy Creek over to in town, perhaps the old Bank of America building or something like that. That's what we talked about. Also, it seems like town council meetings will be meeting at 5:30 from now on, and just once a month rather than twice a month. Hey, here's the deal. Get your town council meeting from the town council or from their website or Facebook site. They're funded and they have plenty of advocacy. EDC is funded and has plenty of advocacy. There are other groups which are funded and have plenty of advocacy. I am here to advocate for the business owners and the economy of not only downtown Spruce Pine, but also greater Spruce Pine, the Spruce Pine area. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? I'm going to make this as short and sweet as possible for all of our sakes. Next month will be board meetings, the second Thursday, the board nominations, second Thursday of the month of March. And we'll talk about what's going on with that in a second. But let's begin here. This says war zone. It's okay if you can't see what's on the board because it's mostly for my notes. But why does downtown Spruce Pine look like a war zone? Because, in my opinion, I think it literally is. It's a war of conflicting agendas more than anything else. Why am I saying it looks like a war zone? Well, we have burnt out buildings in this town, buildings without roofs in this town. It was just mentioned recently in an online post that Mitchell County has more garbage on the roads than any other county in western North Carolina, and that we're kind of the armpit of western North Carolina, which is the greater Asheville area, Asheville, kind of Hickory, Boone area, that's the triangulation. But it's kind of Spruce Pine seems to be kind of a war of agendas. Some agendas are being suited and some are not. But I think whenever we can all get on the same page and look at where our individual agendas meet and are parallel, going in the same direction, that's when we'll be able to make some momentum. Okay, so that's the main reason I want to mention that. This says focus on the positive. We'll get to that in just a second. Oh, well, let's go ahead and talk about that. Focus on the positive. So this whole side of the board is positive, and I have more stuff to add to this. Don't let me forget. And I bet others have plenty to add to that too. So just do it in the comments down below. And we'll get back to focusing on the positive. This is we economy versus me economy. So when we have a we economy, it means we support each other, promote each other's businesses, link and share to each other's websites and Facebooks and promotions, and pass out each other's business cards, etc. Talk about the specials and events that are happening. And in a me economy, everyone's kind of out for themselves. And I've yet to really ever see a me economy work. That's where people are very individualized, mainly focused on what's promoting their pawn on the chessboard and what suits their agenda. And I don't think that gets anyone individually to even the horizon or able to see beyond the horizon. And certainly for us to get this town back together again with an economy, the economy. Let me clarify. This is about the economy, okay, and business. What's good for our businesses. For us to get that back together again, I really think we're going to have to understand the strategies of a we economy versus a me economy. But in the meantime, some of the ways we can promote a we economy is to share each other's events and Facebook sites and specials, and we'll talk about some of those over here in just a minute. I know Jan's having a t-shirt contest, and there's some other great things going on with that. Board nominations. The board positions are 2 co-chairs, a secretary, a treasurer, and a spokesperson. I'm not even eligible to run for the board the way I've set it up. Executive director has been to me means that I get to do the newsletters and the post out, the mail outs, the emails, and the Facebook site, and start on that type of, basically kind of administrative type stuff, to be honest. It's got really nothing to do with It's really kind of mostly secretarial, to tell you the truth. It's got not a whole lot to do with what the co-chairs will be doing, which is hopefully steering the conversation. The secretary and treasurer and spokesperson, I think we all know what those positions are. So, when I initiated this back in fall of 2017 and spoke to a lot of business owners who were in agreement that something like this would be a positive thing, I expected some participation, guys, and I've gotten some participation, but I've also got a lot of spectation, and that's fine. We need the spectators, and I respect you all for just coming and hanging out and giving your 2 cents worth. I think there was definitely at one point we had over 19 people in this room for about 3 hours. So if you look at that, that's 57 work hours of an individual, and just think what any of us individually can get done in 57 hours. So when we come together in, a group of 20 for 2 or 3 hours, I would like to see 40 hours to 60 hours productivity. I would really like to see that. I think that's I think that's the value of our time. And I definitely think it's also the potential of our time. So let's see what we can do with that. I need some folks to step up and accept these positions. Otherwise, we're not going to have a board, okay? And right now, let me show you where we're at. It's over here. We have a vehicle. It's called the Spruce Pine Business Alliance. If it's a rickety old skateboard right now, well, it's the best I've been able to do with the help I've gotten so far, okay? So I am very happy to help turn this over to other people who are better at building machines like this or can contribute to taking it from skateboard level to Ferrari level. That's not something I can do by myself. I don't have the time, the money, etc. Okay, and there's talents that I'm lacking that other people have. So that expedites that. We have a brand. You're welcome to use the Alliance as well, and the business owners are welcome to use the brand of historic downtown Spruce Pine, especially the Facebook site, which has been getting over 1,000 hits or views a day. You can use this brand and promote it in a multitude of different ways, some of which we'll talk about in a minute. But to begin with, you can use it to post your specials and your businesses, etc. on, as long as it's not being misused for that. But I definitely want it to be used for that, and it's been used. If you look at the postings that are on there, you'll see good examples of how to use it in that positive manner, for positive effect. As of March, we're going to have a board. Only when we have a board will other organizations like the EDC and the Chamber and Town Council take us seriously, okay? So we come back to this board issue. By the way, the board is not going to be a major time commitment, and there's plenty of folks who are not going to be on the board who will help support the projects and the ongoing of what the board needs. But this will legitimize us in the eyes of everyone, including ourselves. And we also have a blueprint, and the blueprint, when we build something architecturally, there's architectural blueprints, and our architectural blueprints for the board to utilize as a tool to promote and work towards elevating our brand. And the vehicle, it's definitely part of what's sitting there, like the map in the driver's hands in the vehicle. Our blueprint is that comprehensive economic revitalization program. The program has 8 different projects under it right now. Being a comprehensive program, it's always being updated and edited. Any of you can update and edit it, add to it, take away, make suggestions, etc. Just some of the 8 projects would be signage, and so that's a separate project, separate from the other projects, and it has its own quantifiable metrics, so the development and progress can be measured. We definitely want some consistency in our signage and some viewability in our signage and things like that, which we can both borrow from working models, but also we probably have studies already out there on how to increase the effectiveness of that. Some of the other bullet points on the projects would be like the depot is a project. That's something we have influence on. And Carolina Theater is a project. I mentioned signage, but also beautification. So like what the young man, the Eagle Scout, is doing by gathering volunteers and raising the funds to do the beautification, the landscaping down there where the pine tree is across from Burleson's Plumbing. So there are many opportunities to do beautification like that. I also noticed Mabel was out clearing her garden, so maybe that's another opportunity for beautification that we could all help contribute to. in a variety of different ways. Okay, so I think we've gotten through this. Focus on the main thing about focus on the positive is I agree we should focus on the positive, but let's not just turn a blind eye to everything else. Okay, tonight when I came in, there was a truck that was intentionally diagonally parked, taking up 2 parking spots, and this was early, and I saw the very healthy two men get back in the truck. I think that needs to be addressed because our clients see it. Saturday, it was a gorgeous day, 75 degrees here, sunny skies. Dear John Pendley, who has a cabinet shop and a art gallery and framing studio down at the bottom of the top of Locust Street, lent me this sign you put out. It says, "Keep going, more shops," so that folks would know to go up to where the newspaper is in that area, where the Dellinger Sisters gift shop is and Chad's Pet Store is, Appalachian Pets, etc. And within 90 minutes, somebody scribbled out the keep part of it. Okay. I also just probably less than 2 weeks ago was pulling up about 7 o'clock in the evening, and a man had come out of the Mexican restaurant and decided just to urinate in one of these available storefronts here, and then get back in his nice truck and drive away. So let me just toss this out there. Ignoring that hasn't changed it in the 20 years I've been here. For 19 of the 20 years, I ignored that type of stuff. Nobody knew my name. Everyone took my money, no problem, my taxes, etc. And I didn't get any reciprocation on that. And the only money I made was out of this county, as that's what many of us have to do, is import our money. But there's definitely a case of, I don't know how better to say it than kind of assholeitis, in this town. I've heard it spoken of in many different ways, and I've seen it actually published in many different ways. We're not going to focus too much on it. I myself might have suffered from some assholeitis. When that's a standard operating procedure, I'm not going to justify it any more than that, but I apologize knowing that I have. But we've taken, starting this group and being recognized, I've taken a lot, this group and this alliance, and our desire to create a positive economy in this town, we've taken a lot of hits. We've been swung at a lot, not only by people and organizations that should be assisting us and helping us, if it's in no other way than information and networking and connections. It's not necessarily about capital or time invested. It's just how it works in this small town. Handshake can open a lot of doors if those doors are willing to be opened. But also internally, we've taken some major internal strikes too. But I want to say we're shaken perhaps, but not stirred, okay? We're fine. Our organization is good. We've gotten this far in 3 months, and we do have a vehicle, a brand, a board as of March, and a blueprint to move forward with. So let's stay focused on that part of the positive. I'm going to go ahead and tell you who I'd like to see and what my concept is of a good, strong board here as far as getting us off the ground and getting us to the next level. The co-chairs, I'd really like to see one man and one woman, just to help keep it balanced and represent that we are kind of an open alliance like that. I don't want us to become like another part of the male-dominated patriarch system here. By the way, you'll hear a lot about a good old boy system or a good old boy network here. It's not good, and they're not boys, okay? Let me just put that out there, okay? Just take the good and the boys out of it, and you'll see what it is, all right? Anyway, moving forward. Co-chairs, I would love to see Peter Franklin as a co-chair. I think he's a brilliant man. I think he's got a passionate heart, smart mind, well-connected, knows a lot about what's going on here, and is not scared to stand up for himself, and I like that about Peter. And I think Christy Thrift would make an amazing co-chair. And Christy's just a powerhouse over there with her business and her organization. She's very well connected, she sees the future. I think from up there, that area, you can really get a good view on what's going on around here. And, she has that amazing dude, Scott, with her, too. And Scott's been here at every meeting, comments, and is keeps updated with the website and the Facebook page and stuff like that. I didn't mean website. It's not up yet, but the Facebook page. And other postings. And Scott's very engaged and engaging. And they're new as of, I think, a few years ago, maybe three and a half years ago, something like that, to the area, and I think they probably have a great perspective on things, and also have a juxtaposition or contrast based on the Charlotte community where I believe they came out of, to help get, see what a real big working economy looks like, and knowing that we have to draw from not only Charlotte, but Greensboro, and Hickory, and Spartanburg, and Asheville, certainly, Johnson City, etc., which we have a lot to offer for those communities. We'll talk about that maybe a little later. So if I had my druthers, this would be Peter Franklin, Christy Thrift. Secretary and treasurer, well, obviously the secretary needs to be a good note taker, and the treasurer needs to be impeccable with money. By the way, for the treasurer's benefit, we do have a working account under the name of Spruce Pine Business Alliance over at United Community Bank. Spokesperson, I'd love to see Avril Wilson as a spokesperson. She's one who promotes the focus on the positive quite a bit. She's very articulate, just an enjoyable person to be around, and a great, a very captivating voice and demeanor. And I think she knows how to speak her mind as well. So those would be my nominations. By the way, I would say for either secretary, let's say probably for secretary, my nomination would be Johnny, the young 17-year-old man who's in business classes over at Mayland. He's the son of Claudia, who has the Claudia's Taco stand. I would nominate Johnny for this. I think he's going to be obviously he's going to be an incredible businessman if he's anything like his mother. And I think this is beneficial to him because he'll get a chance to wet his feet in an actual organization like this, a business organization. I think it'll be great credentials for him moving forward. But I also think the dudes would be great for us. I think he's young, enthusiastic, brilliant, and has probably some amazing ideas. But I think he can certainly cover this secretary position, But, we meet once a week, once a month, and he'd just have to take a couple hours worth of notes and maybe post them, or even just record it on his phone and post it to where we could all access it. Okay, great. So we're done with this side of the board now. Let's move over here. Here's some of what's going on that's positive recently. First of all, I want to mention that Penland School of Crafts is one of the best partnerships that we could have in the future. They do an incredible amount of promotion for this area. Penland School of Crafts is known internationally. It helped really put this area on the map, Toe River Valley on the map as an art community, and just tons of people love the offerings that the school has. And the school is having its community open house on March 3rd from 1 to 5. If you're in the area, please go by. These are so much fun. You get to tour all the studios, make some great crafts, meet some amazing instructors and artists, and see just a gorgeous campus. And a good working nonprofit. I want to mention that our Public Works team is always on par. These guys are the best. I'll give them a little asterisk here. I'm so proud of these guys. They work all hours. I see them very late at night, sometimes very early in the morning sometimes. They have a multitude of tasks and duties ongoing that they're responsible for. But they also have emergencies that they have to respond to, like burst water pipes during the cold weather and things like that. They do a great job, and I am constantly impressed with these guys and have photos and video of them doing a knockout job. Another positive, the weather, 75 degrees on Saturday, 224. Spring's coming. The crocus and the daffodil are blossoming and poking their little green heads through the ground. People come here for our amazing outdoors. If you look at the national report on how many billions of dollars are spent on outdoors in America, you'll realize that there's a lot of potential for us to tap into that to help revitalize our economy. 2% was what I read in the new manual that just came out. I guess those are for 2017 numbers, but it was a 2018 publication. 2% of each individual's gross income, gross income, or what they spend on outdoor activities. There are very few categories that we spend 2% or more on. I would say food, health, and mortgage, rent, lodging are three of the categories that exceed what we spend on outdoor. If you combine what we spend on outdoors with recreation, well, now you're getting into a much higher percentage. Some people, and I mention this because some people think going to the brew pub in Asheville is recreation, as it is. Also, going to festivals are recreation, or a concert inside is considered recreational expenses, whereas outdoor is a completely different category. But anyway, so that's something that we can tap into here. This great weather. It has gotten a little colder since then. That was a nice week, and we're going to return to that quickly, though. And we get many months of this, and the air is so clear up here, and the water is so clean, and the sunshine is just that much more delicious up here. A lot of people leave the cities, even cities as nice as Greenville, Spartanburg, Asheville, North Carolina, Hickory, Greensboro, Charlotte, to come up to this fresh air that they get here. And by the way, the high country above us, it's getting very crowded, so it doesn't have necessarily exactly the right elements that we have here that make us so special. The waterfalls that are within 15, 20 minutes of where I stand. The Blue Ridge Parkway obviously is less than 10 minutes away from where I stand. Gorgeous campgrounds like Springmate. We have the Tow River. I could literally stand in front of my office and throw a stone into. And I'm going to tell you that I just found out that the second largest trout fishing tournament in the entire country happens right here on that Tow River, and it's also a benefit that I'm going to post about. I met some amazing people who head up that organization, but I did not know that the second largest trout fishing tournament in the country of the United States of America happens right here on this river and up towards Bakersville, etc., but right here in front of us on historic downtown Spruce Pine. Folks, American Pickers, the television show, is coming to Mitchell County, and they are asking right now if you have any recommendations of farms or places, old farmers that have stored a whole bunch of stuff in there, a whole bunch of interesting antiques and finds like that in their barns and stuff like that, because I imagine they're both going to hit some of our antique shops, but they will probably, they did do a shout out for this. This was in the paper last week, so refer to that, please, to find the information, or call Brandon at the newspaper. He'll let you know. Historic Downtown Spruce Pine, our Facebook page is doing amazing. 5-star rating. Please go on there and add to that 5-star rating and give comments about our beautiful historic downtown Spruce Pine. And this is also a place to post specials. We have new openings. We have a tattoo parlor coming, which is really cool. And we have some other really cool things that I've been posting on there from the shops. And if you have specials or promotions that you're doing, let me know, and we can certainly get those on this historic downtown Spruce Pine, where there's already a built audience that is engaged. Okay, the Blue Ridge Parkway, which has 16.1 million tourists a year, 5 miles away from us. 16.1 million tourists a year on the Blue Ridge Parkway with a $16.3 million operating budget. We're in one of the nicest spots of the Blue Ridge Parkway. I've done it from north to south, and to me, north of Asheville, kind of from Craggy north to a little bit north of, that Price Lake area. A few miles north of there has some of the most amazing offerings when you consider Mount Mitchell, Price Lake and Campground. What else is through there? Linville Falls is through there. Crabtree Falls is through there. Wild Acres is through that spot. You can, canoe on that Price Lake. Boone, Blowing Rock, Banner Elk are right there. The town of Spruce Pine is right here. Little Switzerland is right there. That's Burnsville, and your access to 80 South and Tow River's there. You can shoot down the other side of 80 and get to Lake Tahoma and Highway 70 and I-40. You're close to Black Mountain, Old Fort, right in Marion, 20 minutes off the Parkway on the south side. It's a really amazing area. And consider all the wildlife that's through there: bobcat, turkey, black bear, deer, white-tailed deer, all sorts of owl, eagle, tons of red-tailed hawk. Migrations happen through there. Come on, guys. That's our back door, okay? So the Blue Ridge Parkway is having their first ever behind-the-scenes open house for coming attractions and what's going on with them. That's going to be on February 28th from 4 to 7 p.m. down at the Folk Arts Center, which is just on the east side of Asheville on the Blue Ridge Parkway, a little bit below on the south, a little bit on the south side of the Craggy Gardens area. But not a far jump for us. From Mount Mitchell to the Folk Arts Center, I'd say give yourself probably an hour, but it's not unfathomable to do it in 45 minutes or thereabout. We're going to talk about these newspaper inserts, okay? So the billboard didn't go off, and that's fine. Brandon, we're going to stay consistent with our advertising, though, and our marketing with the brand of the historic downtown Spruce Pine. So Brandon has these available at the newspaper. This is one for Destination Athens, but I just want to show you kind of the basic layout of this. This is what's known as a newspaper insert, and it folds open, and it has these panel ads here, and some information of coming events and things like that. And then it folds completely open and shows kind of a map, definitely a map, and then some more ad space here. So contact Brandon about this ad space here. It is an incredible rate, incredibly affordable rate for the amount of distribution that we get for this. And we can choose up to, I think, about 30 different communities. Maybe it's 26, but different areas and communities that this would go into. We also have for our big ballers, for our larger organizations, we have, you can take the entire back panel, and I don't know why Track or Penland or the Quartz Corporation or Mayland or Town of Spruce Pine or somebody else wouldn't take this entire back panel. That's a good opportunity. But anyway, these other ones are very affordable. And let's help Brandon out with this and help ourselves out with this and get some of these newspaper inserts for downtown Spruce Pine and the area events and sites to see and businesses. By the way, you get your own logos in here. Let's see if we can't get that distributed down to like North Georgia, Highlands Cashiers, those areas, okay? And just to show you the legitimacy of something like that, well, we know that Track Toe River Arts has just rebranded, okay? And here's their flyer handout with a big map of the area and some studio listings on here, etc. Okay, I do want to say Track. I immediately looked for the dates of the 2 track tours in spring and fall, and they're not on here. And so we'll have to look those up at ToeRiverArts.com to see when those are this year, the 2 track tours. But promote that on your websites too, folks. Hey, I think we got through it all. Looks like we're right at about 28 minutes, under a half hour. Okay, so we will be meeting on the second Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30 in this office, 205 Locust Street, the executive boardroom of Leland Riddle's Financial Service Building, to move forward with all of this. Thanks for hanging in there. We've gotten this far. We've got some wheels under our feet with the Alliance. We've got a brand with Historic Downtown Spruce Pine. We put our board together, which is going to make us super legitimate, and we've got a blueprint with the Economic Revitalization Program. I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. This is an opportunity to put people in power, to delegate, and to remove all of these responsibilities from me. I won't be posting anything that the chairs don't okay, that's not already passed through and edited from the secretary, that the treasurer justifies the expenses for, or that our spokesperson does not want promoted. So I did what I could do, okay? And I got us here. And I need your help to help our town and our economy to get us to that next rung on this ladder, okay? But we're doing it, and I appreciate your help. And I look forward to seeing where we are soon, we'll be doing updates like this periodically, certainly quarterly, if not monthly or more often. Okay, it's just easier. So, thank you very much. Happy 2018, and may this be a banner year for all of us. Adios.